Welcome back to Local Tech Man. Today we're going to be talking about storage devices. If you're still running a mechanical drive on your computer to boot to your operating system, oh boy, let me tell you, you're outdated. You got to get yourself an M.2 NVMe drive so much faster. So, this is a 3.5 mechanical drive, spinning disk, little arm reading and writing everything. Slow, a lot of moving parts, a lot of stuff can go wrong. High latency, takes a while to get that information across. But if you have media server or something like that, y- you can get really large mechanical drives, which is a better option. But if you're booting to your Windows environment, definitely SSD or M.2. This right here, little brother, 2.5-inch mechanical drive, spinning disk, as well as this one, 7200 revolutions, I believe, 5400, something like that. This is SSD, circuit board, solid state drive, 2.5-inch, no moving parts, low latency, extremely fast compared to the other one, mechanical drive. Now, if you want to move into the big boy arena, you gotta get yourself a M.2 NVMe. These ones are extremely fast. I guess 2,000 to 7,000 plus megabytes per second. This is the form factor M.2. It looks like a stick of gum. It's not the size of a stick of gum, but it looks kind of like, well, maybe close, but it's a little bigger. But basically, you attach it to your M.2 socket and it goes in. It's a lot faster. If you're going to be opening your applications, booting to your Windows environment, it's going to be a bunch of times faster. Believe me. Today, we're going to be learning how to do read and write tests on your storage devices. So basically, you're going to have Crystal Disk Mark, a program. We're going to see the name and everything else right now, how to download it, and you'll learn how to perform those tests so you can see what is the speed that it reads and then that it writes information. So that way you can get a better idea on how your device is operating. You can also use a different program that is on higher ends. I think it's Crystal Disk, and it shows you the state of your hard drive. But today we're going to use Crystal Disk Mark, and we're going to perform a function, a test of read and writes. Let's get to the computer so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, and we are officially in the computer. So what we're going to do, go to your web browser. We know Google. You're going to see Crystal Disk Mark or Crystal Mark. Okay, so we can see crystalmark.info. Make sure you go to the right website and you don't go to the wrong one and start downloading stuff and then get a virus. So crystalmark.info. There's a couple stuff here, but personally I like to go to download. I like to go down. I mean, you can download the little anime girls figurines, but I don't want you guys to get distracted today. So I'm gonna go and get the regular one so we can stay focused. You click there on zip. You saw there. That's the one I like. Don't click on anything. Just let the download start going by itself. And don't click on anything. So I'm just going to go back. If you guys didn't see, so you guys saw this as the option that I'm getting. This is the waifu and anime stuff. But I got this one, zip. There's an installer. There's a couple stuff. It says Vista XP. But this is the one I like. So now we saw the download. We know we know it should be finished. So we go to our folders. Then we go to downloads. We can see it right here. I'm going to do extract all and let it extract. Okay, now for my system 64-bit, this marked 64. And yes, and it should come up. So what we're going to do is we're just going to check how it looks. This is Crystal Disk Mark 9.0. We can see here, file, copy, save. If you want to save an image with the data here, you click on save and you'll save it to your desktop or whatever, and you'll be able to save a screenshot, right? So file, save. If you want to transfer this information, you want to keep it. If you want to save your details for your read and writes, test data, there's a couple things you can change here, random and fill. Default, if you're using an NVMe SSD, you click on this one. Flash memory, settings, profile, you can check a couple of things and start configuring if you want to change it differently. There they have if you want to zoom, if you want to choose like a different font of some sort. So let's see, green. Okay, green, but it's just white. So let's do dark. Okay. And I like dark theme, but no, not on this one. I guess I'll okay, it's a little flashy, techie vibes. Default for us, that way we don't get confused. Help, you can see other stuff here about crystal disk. If you want to change it to a different language, go ahead. But as you saw, if you have an NVMe SSD, it'll perform a better test with this setting. If not, you can try the default and then try the other one. You'll see if there's any differences, or maybe it'll have a better read and write score. But I run them on regular. I run all my tests. We're gonna be running today the test for our hard disk drive, for our SSD, and NVMe M.2. And I'll start talking about it and show you the drives and their scores, so you can see if it matters what storage device you're running. So let's do a quick. The only storage device I have is the SSD. I already run a test on the other one, so let me do something real quick. So let's do a test. The way I did on all of them is one test. You can do multiple. You can do a larger test as well. It'll run better off if for long-term consistency, if you want to run a larger read and write test. So it basically creates a file that is, for example, here 1 gigabyte is going to perform that function and is going to perform one test count. You can see here the test size. So I'm going to do 1 gig because I want to show you guys quickly on how to do this, and we can run over the different tests to see the difference in all of them. So I'll do all, and we'll see what happens. Okay, and we have finished our testing of our SSD. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize, and we're going to start with the mechanical drive. We're going to have this reading on top. This is the reading that we care about mostly. And this is other tests that it performs on the actual hard disk. This is kind of like the minimum. This is kind of like what the manufacturer uses to share, like, okay, this is the speed that it can get. And we can see that our little hard disk drive, 2.5 inch, got 127 megabytes per second read speeds and 101 write speeds. So that's compared to some of the other ones, as we saw the SSD, it's considerably slow if we want to run our systems a lot faster and we want to boot quicker and access information a lot faster. So there is for the hard disk drive. Now we're going to do the second one, which is going to be the SSD. And you know what we'll do? We'll put it right here. And we can see here 127, 101 to 519 megabytes per second, 500 and 207 megabytes per second write speeds. I thought it would be a little faster. As we can see here, the write speeds is considerably higher. So I'm wondering, so this is supposed to be kind of like its read and write speed, but compared to this one, to the hard disk drive, it's a lot better for our SSD 2.5. This is the one I'm showing you on the screen, on my screen. So that's pretty good considering what we got on the hard disk drive. So now let's get to the nice one. Okay, and now we get insane, well, incredible numbers. And this is not the fastest M.2 NVMe. There's other generations that are faster, but I got this one used for cheap, and I wanted to try it out from eBay. And I think it cost me like 15 bucks. But look at that. You can install your operating system there and have considerable faster read and write speeds. Like, this is what the manufacturer uses, like I told you. And this is why I think a lot of people are starting to just put their main systems on M.2s. It just makes sense, and it's a lot easier. Just it boots right away, so much faster, it's so much easier using it. So to me, it makes sense. And to you, I don't know if it makes sense, but for certain things, we still need hard disk drives. For some other things, SSDs are better. For some other things, maybe M.2s. But if you, like me, I'm gonna make a media server soon, and just having a hard disk drive is a lot cheaper, and I can get 20 terabyte hard disk drives. You don't see 20 terabyte M.2s, NVMe's, or even SSDs. I mean, if they're out there, I mean, I haven't seen them, but should probably look it up. But I know I've seen for 200 bucks 20 terabyte drives of 3.5-inch hard disk drives. So for some cases, hard disk drives are still pretty good. But for all of our use, mainly our computer gaming and whatnot and everything else, it just makes so much sense just having a M.2 NVMe. Look at these speeds. So, I if you want to run your own test, I hope this information was useful, and you can run your own test. As you saw, just download that. You'll have the program. Depending on how much drives you have on your computer, you can test them all at once. Well, not at once, but you'll be able to test more if you click here. Like, I tested 2 at a time because I can't do more than 3 on one of the computers I'm using. But here you can go, you can run more tests. You can larger test size test as well, and you can configure if you want to do other settings. And look at that, I didn't even do the NVMe SSD on my NVMe. I did a regular profile, a regular defaults test. So I could have gotten probably better numbers, but as you see, this is why it's good performing these kind of tests, because we find out a lot of good information. And I hope you like the video and that you run a test on maybe your hard drive. And if you want to use Hirens to just check the health of your disk, there's a crystal disk program there, because I know I've talked about Hirens, but I'm getting ready to make another recovery drive video soon. But hope you like the video, and we'll see each other in the next video. Take care.